A new study shows that the monkeypox virus may spread more easily and earlier than previously thought. How this could change treatment and response to outbreaks. Plus, she's a former Hasidic Jew, now living her truth as an out lesbian. I talk with author Leah Lax about the current political climate. And we'll take a look at the 22 amazing people living with HIV. That's all coming up on Advocate Today. Hi, and welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Thank you for joining me. A new report now suggests that MPX, also known as monkeypox infections, can be passed on before symptoms arise. Official guidance from health agencies say people mostly transmit the infection only after they develop symptoms. But disease modelers in the United Kingdom now believe that might not be the case. They investigated tracing records and found 53% of cases were pre-symptomatic transmission. For some people, transmission occurred up to 4 days before they got their first symptoms. Since May 2022, there have been 75,000 global cases reported. The study was published in the medical journal, the BMJ. There's controversy surrounding the newly named president of the University of Florida, former Nebraska GOP Senator Ben Sasse. Students and faculty have protested his appointment because of Sasse's record on LGBTQ rights and other issues. Sasse also has limited experience in education administration. The UF Board of Trustees approved Sasse in a 13-0 vote. His appointment comes with concern from students and faculty about what influence his political past and his GOP friends in Florida can have on the institution. In 2015, the senator said that only a man and a woman should get married. The UF Faculty Senate voted 67-15 in disapproving the selection. Leah Lax became a mother to 7 children, all while coming to terms with her identity as a lesbian. She's a former member of the Hasidic community, but had an abortion and was shunned by that community. Her journey is now being told in a new opera, Uncovered, based on the memoir of the same name. I spoke to Leah about finding the courage to live her truth, the opera being produced based off her memoir, and more. Hi, we're here with Leah Lax. Welcome to the Advocate Today. And I wanted to just begin with asking you about this opera that is based on your memoir, Uncovered. And would you talk a little bit about this journey from going from a memoir to an opera?
The memoir was the first gay memoir ever to come out of the Jewish ultra-Orthodox world. It's called Uncovered: How I Left Hasidic Life and Finally Came Home. That alone has been an incredible journey and has taken me to all kinds of communities you wouldn't imagine. But then I was faced with the prospect of turning that into an opera. I didn't want to just write it based on it would be derivative. So I had to look at this long, deep, personal, complex book and say, what moments here, if they didn't happen in my life, I wouldn't be here talking to you. What are those moments? Because you only get a little bit on stage. And out of, 90,000 words in the book, I only get about one. I'm sorry. I don't know how to stop that on my laptop. All right. Out of like 90,000 words in the book, I get maybe 2,500 to 3,000 in a libretto. So that and the fact that everything has to lend itself to music. So I started over with something that wouldn't be derivative, that was written for music, for stage. Staging is wonderful because you can take ideas and embody them in people or in lines of music, and then you can have many people singing at the same time, and you know each of those characters and what their messages are. So you get all those messages at once, just like we live with all these messages and people around us, and we live that sort of onslaught. And Lori Laitman, the brilliant, amazing composer, she sees and hears music as emotion, and I gave her the libretto as I came up with it, and she instantly read between the lines. So I had this incredible experience of Lori calling me with music that she had just written, and playing it and singing it and saying, I just wrote this. Is this how you felt? Because she had like a live person right there, and she allowed me that kind of input all the way through it in the composition. It's been very collaborative and kind of wonderful. Given that I have to add one more piece is that at the end of the day, a score and a libretto are just black notes, black marks on a page. It's Beth Greenberg who takes that and again reads between the lines, called me with intense and challenging questions. But she's our stage director. She's our director who translated this into three dimensions on a stage, and there's nothing like it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. I do want to backtrack a little bit because you talked about how you have to take these points of your life, your very kind of inclusive memoir, and then pick those out. So would you discuss a little bit those pieces of your story that people can expect to see in Uncovered?
Well, I'd never heard of an opera that has a lesbian lead that is open about a lesbian passion and has a love story threaded through. Some people have said that we have tackled the trifecta of taboos because the opera encompasses lesbian love, the impact of fundamentalism on women, and the crisis point is an abortion. So let's go right there as far as what moments could you not live without. Living as I did for 30 years in the Hasidic Jewish community in a place where birth control was not allowed. So we raised 7 children. Obligation and religious law was my life. My feelings didn't matter that much. But when I got pregnant one time too many, it was like a body scream. That's something in me. I didn't even recognize it as my own inner voice was saying, get it out, get it out, get it out. And I have to say that going through that experience and making sure I had that abortion, which I did, is what woke me up, is what made me say, nobody will ever rule over my body again because only I know what I need. And that's what led to my finally coming to terms with for example, the lesbian erotic dreams that plagued me at night, or the feelings I knew that were very, very much there. That's what led me to allow myself to fall in love.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I wonder, regarding the abortion piece of the story, did you imagine that we would be at this inflection point after the Dobbs decision and when your story would be told on stage?
That was amazing to me because the premiere of Uncovered was supposed to be 2 years earlier, and it was scheduled and then canceled in 2020 because of the pandemic. And because it seemed to be going on and on, we opted at the time to postpone it for a full 2 years, hoping we'd be on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. And then just months before our premiere, this happened. So,
yeah, it's incredible timing. And I wonder, would you talk a little bit about you went from an arranged marriage to being in a lesbian love affair, and now you're married to a woman. And I wonder, would you talk a little bit about going from a Hasidic community to finding your maybe perhaps genuine community with LGBTQ plus people, if that resonates for you?
Oh, absolutely. I have to say, I was born and raised, you can hear it in my voice, I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Not in a religious home, in a secular Jewish home. My mother was a professional artist and quite passionate about liberal politics. Joining a fundamentalist environment was my adolescent rebellion. So that when I did finally leave after 30 years, there was my mother going, "You're coming home," and with open arms. It was the best coming out story in the whole world.
Thanks again to Leah for sharing her powerful story. We'll have more from my interview with Leah next week. Her memoir, Uncovered, is out now, and the opera based on her journey will be in New York City from November 16th through November 19th. Visit here.org for tickets. There have been some incredible things done this year by people living with HIV. HIVplus.com selected 9 individuals who are bettering the world by working to end stigma. This year's honorees range from musicians and photographers to activists and government administrators. All 9 are using their platforms to shed light on the issues those with HIV face. Some examples include fighting for better health care, increased access to treatment, and a rise in discrimination. Head over to hivplus.com to learn more about these incredible people and their stories. Thank you for joining us on Advocate today. The Advocate channel is streaming now on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Android TV. You can also download our app on your Android or Apple devices. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and see you next time.